Continuing the reading, Chapter 2, Muddy Blues. It don't take them long to find us hiding in the loft. We're under the moldy old hay, holding still as rabbits when they bust down the barn door. First thing we hear is Squint yelling and cussing and demanding they find us. One of the men tells him to shut his trap. If he's only a boy, Leech, how'd he whip your fat carcass, huh? Sure, it wasn't a hog throwed you to the mud. Minute or so later, the same man comes up into the loft, thumping the floorboards with the tine of a pitchfork. Come on out and face the music, boys. It's that or get stabbed. On a count of 1, 2, at each count, he thumps the pitchfork into the floorboards, making those sharp tines ring like a saber. Swing, swing, working closer to where he's hiding, as deliberate as an army advancing. There! Harold gives me a nudge, and we both stand up, clotted with straws of hay. The man with the pitchfork is Cornelius Witham, that trades in jugs of whiskey and keeps a shack up in the hills. I recognize him from his voice and the way he said throwed. Corny comes around on Saturday nights leading an old pack horse strung with clay jugs. Squint won't take anything stronger than cider, but he and Corny share a fondness for plug tobacco. They'll sit on the porch of an evening, spitting and bragging on what they did when they were young. Corny is what they call a prodigious liar, meaning he's got talent in that direction. And he and Harold would hide under the porch me and Harold would hide under the porch just so we could hear them lay waste to the truth. Only time I ever heard Squint laugh was when Corny told this long complicated tale about a worm he swallowed by accident and how it came out both ends at the same time. Lo, Mr. Witham, says Harold, picking the hay out of his hair. Lo, Harold. You boys sure stirred up old Squint this time. Yes, sir, we did, says Harold. Unlike me, Harold never lied in his entire life, which makes it all the more worse. What had happened later. When they took us out of the yard, Squint's there, of course, looking madder than a bolt of lightning, and Corny that marched us to our doom, and Mr. J.T. Marston, a county magistrate, and a skinny, hollow-eyed stranger in a blue uniform so crusted with mud he could have been rolling with the pigs like Squint. Man in a muddy blue uniform, he reeks of whiskey. His eyes are shifting everywhere, but at me and Harold. He's like embarrassed for us, or maybe for himself. Mostly he studies the clay jug Corny must have given him and seems disappointed to keep finding it empty. Harold Figg, you stand accused, roars Squint, shaking his fist. That boy tried to murder me. Put him in irons. Oh, shut up, you old fool, says J.T. Marston, who has a way of speaking quiet but forceful. We know Mr. Marston from town because he owns most everything in Pine Swamp, including Marston's dry goods store, the Marston's boarding house, and the Marston's library. Folks say he owns the law too, and that's how he got himself named magistrate. Buy land or sell it, J.T. Marston takes his fee, or it won't be made legal and put down on the county maps. Anything you want done in the law or outside it, old JT will see to it so long as he gets his share of the proceeds. Marston has got a skinny white beard down to his waist and his eyes as black as buttons. He grins at us with all his yellow teeth, the way a dog will grin just before he bites you. And then he says, Harold Joseph Figg, you must now present yourself to the conscription of able-bodied men and take your oath according to the Enrollment Act of March 3rd, 1863. Enrollment, says Harold, straightening up, but I am not of age. I am but 17. That's a lie, roars Squint. I'll swear on the Bible that the boy is 20. So sworn, says Marston with a wave of his hand as he was swooping away a troublesome fly. Sergeant, you will now administer the oath. The stranger in the blue uniform isn't paying attention, and Marston has to speak to him sharply before he staggers over to Harold. Are you ready, son? The stranger asks. This isn't right, says Harold, looking from the stranger to the magistrate. I'm not of legal age. How can you do this, uncle? Who will take care of Homer? I'm his guardian, snarls Squint. I'll take care of the little devil. You can be sure of that. The oath, Sergeant, Marston insists. When Harold shakes his head, the stranger upholsters his pistol and holds it loosely at his side. Private, you must take the oath or be shot as a deserter. What shall it be? You'd shoot a boy? Harold asked in disbelief. I'm not of age, and I think you won't. You know it. For the first time, the stranger looks my brother right in the eye. I have shot many boys, he said. One more will not signify. Now, raise your right hand and swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and the laws of state of Maine, and to obey your lawful superiors. Harold looks at me, real sorrowful, and shakes his head. I'm sorry, Homer. Squint has got me this time. I must do as they say. My brother is made to swear on Squint's Bible, and a moment later he's conscripted into the Union Army to serve for 3 years or until he's dead, whichever comes first. Go with the sergeant, Marston tells Harold. He'll sort you out. What about me? I pipe up. Can I go too? Swear me in, you villains. Corny laughs. Villains, is it? Mighty big word for such a small boy. You get that out of one of your mama's books, did you? Don't you dare speak of our mother. Corny shakes his head and grins. Get back in the barn, son. Go hide under the hay until the war is over. I want to go with Harold. Hush now, little brother, says Harold, giving me a quick embrace. What's done is done. I'm sworn and can't go back on my oath no matter what. But I kick up a fuss and fly at Squintin with my fists, and when that doesn't work, I try to bite him like the rat he is. Cornelius, put this brat in the root cellar. Corny takes hold of the drags and drags me to squirming to the root cellar. The last I see of Harold, the stranger in the muddy blue uniform is marching him away barefoot with the hickory stick on his shoulder. Apparently, that's how they do it when you're sold to the army for a jug of whiskey and a lie. I hope they give Harold a real rifle and a pair of boots. He'll need the boots to make it home.